Alright, so I thought I would try to do a quick video here on how to sculpt a flower. And since I picked persimmon as my leaf and fruit, I'll make a persimmon blossom. So we'll go, since it's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, just like the fruit, we'll make a section like this, and then we'll repeat it. So the first thing to do is go to transform, elongate that, and we probably want to flatten it too. So let's do this, make it flat, elongate it a little bit more. Alright, so now let's see if we do the move or drag. Find out what move does. Kind of. So we want to make an S curve. Pull this up a little bit more. Probably that strength is on to, oh, the intensity is at 100. It should probably be much lower. Let's see what happens. Yeah. We'll start over. If you have the intensity up too high, then you won't get as careful or fluid a curve. So let's do this part over. Flatten that. Maybe like that. Go to the move tool. Make sure that intensity is down. So yeah, there you go. You get a better, more gentle, graceful curve. Okay. Probably bring it down a little bit more like that. Bring this in a little bit. See if we can bring out that center. Probably something like that. So let's rotate it. Let's see. Yeah, those curves are not quite as graceful as I want. Alright, so go to the transform tool. No, yes. And rotate is that inner circle right there. So I'm going to rotate it so it could be more. Alright. Okay. We could do the crease tool. And we want to do the negative, so we've got it checked right there, negative, and we want to do this edge. Maybe the radius could be up a little bit more, and we'll see how this, oh, that strength is way too high, so let's bring that back. So let's try this. Needs to come up a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know why that doesn't look right. It's flattening. I don't like that. What does that mean? Do we have to do this larger? Yeah, the two dots that they use to identify, I don't understand what the point of that is. It's confusing because you want to focus maybe on one dot but not two dots. So it doesn't hurt to know where the center of the sphere is, but other than that, I don't like the way this did this either, so that crease tool didn't do anything for me. So again, I'm working in SculptGL. It's not my favorite, but this is very accessible for everybody. And that could be important, you know, especially as you're learning kind of how to do these things. You don't necessarily want to pay too much for an app. Especially if you're going from computer to computer and whatnot, it's a little bit easier to locate something like this where it's based on the website. You just go to it wherever you are. So, all right, that's not great, but I could make it taller. I have a feeling those are a little bit taller in proportion. So a lot of what you saw me do was just an attempt to do something I wasn't able to do. So I'm giving up, so I'm just gonna live with what I have here. So let's copy selection. I don't think it gives me a chance to mirror, does it? That was the problem with this. So I have to rotate it 180 degrees if I can. So we can do that, and then you could click on to both of them, copy that, and then click on both of them. Let's see what happens. No. There we go. So we want to rotate it 90 degrees. And that's probably okay. And then we could do these leaves. But it looks like down here you can see that that blossom kind of did connect. So maybe this would be more interesting because you could do this bottom part pretty easily and then connect these two. So let's bring this over. Bring this over closer. Alright, so I brought them pretty much touching. What I could do is make that a single mesh, so let's click on all of them, and then we'll go to this, remesh about half, and press the remesh button. Give it a couple seconds. Guess we'll do that bottom part next. And we've got the parts on the inside, which I think are called the pistils. I'm not sure. I'm not a botanist, so let's see. That looks all right. Also, I don't think it's as tall as I have it, so probably bring it down a little bit. And then it looks like it bows at the corners, so let's see what we could do in regard to that. Move tool again. Do we have symmetry on? Yes. Where is the symmetry? Okay, there's the symmetry. Wait. Probably have the radius a little bit bigger. Alright, whatever. Okay, so let's try this part down here. So we'll add a sphere. Where's the front? This might be the front. So I'm sure there's a way for this to tell you what is the front and the back. I haven't found it yet. Let's see. Or even the sides. I wouldn't have a clue what view I'm looking at. So we want to add a sphere. Go to transform. Although this looks like so we could probably do that. Wonder what this looks like. So if we copy that, move it down, but flatten it so that we have these kind of leaves. And it looks like they do coincide with, this leaf does coincide with the petal. Is that right? It looks like it to me. So, although here it doesn't look like it, but how about here? Looks like it there. So let's see what happens if we bring that down. And maybe we could go to local scale, radius a little bit bigger. Alright, so that sphere is in the way. That's a very Art Nouveau design right there. That looks like a lot of pottery that you might find in the Art Nouveau period. Alright, so we're going to move this sphere out of the way. And we're going to click back on that. And then we're going to go to local scale. That's really not doing what I wanted it to do. Let's see. Yeah, the local scale looks a little glitchy to me. I don't think it really works that well. So, but I'm sure that we can make what we have work. just use the move tool. Maybe bring that up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I may not get a great rounded shape on it, but because I can't control this app as well as I'd like to. There's ways we can make that still work. So maybe that sphere will take the place. All right, let's go back to transform. Bring it down. Let's bring the sphere over. We want that sphere a little bit larger. Larger, the outer ring makes that sphere. Probably bring that down a little bit like that. Alright, that's pretty decent. So click on that, go to the move tool. All right. Maybe this sphere could be smaller. And go back to the move tool. All right, so let's put a stem in there. Cylinder, go to transform, arrow down. Let's scale that down thinner, but we want it to be longer. So like that. And then if we could go back to that one photo, find out what's inside. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, how many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So let's add cylinder. Let's make it taller, but smaller. Okay, kind of like that. All right, so what we'll do is copy it. What's the best way to copy it? All right. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know what the deal is there. So, alright, so move tool, bring the intensity down. A little better. Alright, that's pretty ugly, but we're going to make it work. So we're going to add a sphere to that. Go to transform. Because there's some kind of thing at the end of these. It's kind of spherical maybe, so we can come down. Alright, so I guess I could copy that. So we press shift and we're gonna copy selection. It didn't, hey, it didn't give me my sphere. Okay, because you gotta move that separately. Alright. Alright, let's copy it again. Alright, let's get rid of this thing in the center. Delete. I'm going to copy again. Alright, so now we'll place them in there. So let's see. We'll rotate that. And really probably I could just copy again and just use those, so we'll see. Alright, maybe we put those in place. Wait, what? Shift, move it over. Alright, come down a little bit. Okay. Shift, so we click on all that. Move it into place. Change the height of them a little bit. Okay. And I think I said that they go to the corners. How can I? Alright. Okay, so let's just copy that selection. That means I gotta click on all four parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then rotate it. And maybe all that, click on everything. Yeah, it looks like we can bring them smaller, but we can also something like that. Oh, we want them to touch, we want them to go in so they connect. these 4 tops. Let's see. The tops could be more flattened, so we'll like that. All right. I think that's the blossom I'm going to use. It's not great, but it's going to work in the overall scheme of things. So we want to delete that, and we're going to merge it all, remesh it so it's a single mesh. Okay. Mesh. And the thing about this is the I find that the mesh is not very friendly to get into other programs. I've had struggle with it going straight to Sculptress. Mesh Lab doesn't know how to deal with it, but Mesh Mixer does, because in Mesh Mixer you can remesh it in Mesh Mixer, and Mesh Mixer is a lot friendlier than this in that regard. So I take it straight to Mesh Mixer, which is also free, and then I remesh it, and that way I could take it into Sculptress and I could get all the details that I wanted to get into it. So there it is, remeshed. Is it too tall? Let's look at other photos. Here's a couple views. So it looks like we sculpted the male rather than the female, as far as I could tell. Probably bring it down a little bit. And so, yeah. All right, so now we can export that. Save it as an OBJ. And for some reason, it wouldn't let me save it before, I think because I retitled it. So it says your mesh, so you keep that and just add like persimmon blossom, and save that wherever you are saving them. So here we go. And that's it.